Well, hello.
And here you thought you were going to be late. I mean, really? Did you really think that was going to be the issue tonight?
I thought for a while.
Hmm.
Well, it was really, we were planning on playing a game, and before we started, my mother went, I want to go make cookies.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, cookies. I
That.
might be late.
So we have to talk about this, Masters. Number one, who is top left?
Meta.
Okay, I was totally unaware of who that was, and there is no freaking way that that's Foxy.
That's what I said. Oh my goodness. Like it popped up, and I went, wait, what? No, 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 no.
That's when you start having him do weird stuff to just make sure it's not like a simulation or a friend he has on video or something. Because I don't believe it.
No, no. There was voice included. It was definitely
No,
Foxy.
no, no, no. I get that, but like you could be standing on the other side of it, like mouthing, like saying the words, and this person's like mouthing them back, just kind of thing. There's no way that that's Foxy.
So, Mumble asked me because I pick a celebrity lookalike for everybody, but based on their voice alone and their personality.
Okay.
And yours was fairly close. Nobody else's hardly ever is. You disagree with me, but that's a different story. Um,
I after seeing it now, and I can see where you're coming from. He has the same five head. He has the same basic kind of hairstyle. He just grows parts of his out differently,
yeah.
and I look more like a man.
So we're recording. Yes.
Oh yes, we've been
Okay.
ever since your first greeting. We've been live
Okay.
ish.
So I'm going to post this in the world's worst podcast. This is what I thought Foxy looked like.
Okay.
That's not what Foxy looks like.
That's not what Foxy looks like, but I can absolutely see why you would think it would be. Oh.
like I was like it popped up, and I thought, who is that? Who randomly just joined? And then he started talking, and I was like, no,
No. No, no, no.
no.
Like, yeah, Foxy sounds like DJ Qualls looks.
Yes, yes, he does.
Aren't
Oh my goodness.
normally this is the point where you would be impressed that I know who that is without having to look it up, but
No, I'm used to it by now.
oh
Holy
man.
guacamole! I have 7 notifications.
You should have at least 8, but I have not responded to Heskin yet, so
No,
that's
I meant on Twitter.
oh, I got nothing for that.
Oh,
Oh.
it's because Evil Genius 2 is coming out. They have finally announced a release date,
Mm-hmm.
March 30th.
And
Um,
before it gets pushed back. Go ahead.
no, it's already been pushed back.
Oh.
It was supposed to be released last spring.
Oh. And before it gets pushed back
Um,
again.
but it's people commenting on me uh, and whatnot. Um, but
Hmm.
yeah, somebody said day one purchase. I said day one. No, this is a pre-order. Shut up and take my money. uh, and it's people liking and commenting on that.
Hmm.
Uh, and
So,
then,
yes.
oh, that's just a recent tweet. Never
Okay.
mind.
So,
So now that we've got that out of the way,
I'm not sure if it's out of the way yet because now I'm like, because like now who I almost is it Carlos or is it? I'm pretty sure it's Carlos. Is that it? No, that's not it. No. Maybe just Michael Pena. Okay. He almost looks like Michael Pena, which is weird. Michael.
oh yeah, yeah.
it's
Like I saw him and I was like, Foxy, I didn't say it, but I was like, Foxy, are you Hispanic? Because like you look Hispanic. I would have never guessed that in a million years. But just his
yeah,
facial structure and his hair growth
and his
screams Hispanic.
also his skin tone.
And his skin tone. Well, obviously his skin tone, yes.
Right.
I'm not going to post the picture because
Yeah,
it's not my place
but from
to
this
post what Foxy
picture,
looks like. But
basically close enough.
except with a beard and really long hair.
There's no one with a beard. He kind of just rocks the goat. Well, I guess there's a little bit more beard here. Actually, with the beard, he looks less like him. Strangely enough. Um, I don't know. That was not what I was expecting, Foxy.
No, no,
Like,
absolutely not.
yeah, I can't get past this.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's mind-boggling. That's a good word for what it was. Like like it was just me and Mumbles talking, and then Meta joined and was talking, and then Foxy joined and was talking.
Hmm.
And then I just randomly turned because I was sitting in my recliner, so I was on my phone. And so I just randomly turned on my camera because I had a camera, and I was just sitting there talking to them with my camera. And then Meta turned his on, and then Foxy turned his on, and I was just like, huh? Like I lost my entire train of thought and could not think of anything else but what Foxy looked like
This is not
after he turned his camera on.
the general assumption here is that this is not okay.
But the crazy thing is, he's not the only one in the past month that I've seen a picture of, and I was like, "That's not what you look like. Stop."
You just start arguing with the picture. No,
Yes,
it's not
yes,
you.
yes, exactly. It's like, nope, nope, that's not you. That's not what you look like. Oh my goodness.
Oh. Although I will say this, let me see if I can find it real quick. I do have a new doppelganger for you. I know I've always been saying Vincent D'Onofrio, but
Hmm.
your
Hmm.
hooded beard thing, I just saw this movie again recently. Um, uh,
I get Zach Galifianakis a lot.
I nope, I got this right here. Let me find it. Pull this up here. I have your dead on doppelganger, except he needs
Dead
glasses.
on.
Yep,
Dead on.
dead on.
Okay.
Absolutely irrefutable, 100%. This is you.
I'll take it. Hashtag goals.
like he, like I mean, how can you just? It's so spot on. Oh, here's a closer one. That's not really all that closer. Never mind. Um,
My nose is not that bulbous. Thank you very much.
I mean, all right, let me do some comparison here. Okay, it's not that bulbous, but I mean, you have to remember he's older than you, so give it another 20 years. We'll get there. Take you about that.
Oh,
It'll take you about that long to grow out the beard.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
Oh man, I am. Yeah.
I haven't actually seen that movie in a good while.
I was dramatically impressed, not by the actors, but okay. So, Lion Witch in the Wardrobe, Chronicles of Narnia. For those who are not part of the Discord, shame on you. You are. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Let's just really break this down. This is the world's worst podcast. You are not fully experiencing all that is the world's worst podcast if you are not part of the Discord. You should join the Discord. There's a link to do that in the description down below. We're going to do this at the beginning of the thing because we usually lose all of our audience, rightfully so, within about the first 10 minutes. So we are just in under the wire. You all should definitely go join the Discord. back to your regularly scheduled program. Um, um,
Regularly scheduled though.
it comes out every Sunday at 6:30.
Ir- Irregularly scheduled.
We more or less start recording 9 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. It is
More or less.
more or less, and it is. I think I've actually missed 2 upload times, not just days, but like times where it just came out a little bit later on Sunday at 6:30 Eastern. I'm very good at that. Of course, it comes out a little bit earlier on Podbean, not because it has to, but because I'm trying to push that more. So it's like, hey, listen to it early, yeah. But still, definitely, because I mean, you're not really getting anything extra by watching it on YouTube. Let's be fair.
No.
Maybe a dedicated comment section. That might be a thing.
Eh, but we have a dedicated comment section in the Discord.
This is true. This is very true. In fact, we technically have more than one.
I think my power just flickered.
That's fun.
I thought the heat was kicking on, but all the lights went.
Oh, that was an experience I had this week. Not that my heat went out or the lights went out. I got my electric bill and I realized something that
Heating costs a lot of money.
no, my heat is paid for. It's gas. What's not gas is the fan to blow it into the apartment.
Oh,
And so I'm like, man, my apartment is so cold. I don't really get cold or feel cold, but like it's the kind of thing where like, hey, if somebody walked in, they think I was a snowman or something, so I should probably get this up to like a healthy 62. And so I've
I
tried
keep
to,
mine at 65.
huh?
I keep mine at 65.
Yeah, I was trying to pump mine up a little
I
bit.
live in Alabama and it hardly ever gets that cold though. So
And so I was like pushing it up and pushing it up, and I got my temperature set all the way up to like 80 degrees. You guys probably heard on the podcast last couple of weeks. My fan just blowing nonstop, which I apologize for because now I find out totally unnecessary. Um, Also, really freaking expensive. My electric bill is between double and triple, which is not great. I'm not happy about that.
oh, between double and triple what it normally is.
Yes.
I thought you were going for double or triple digits, and I was like, well, it's one or the other. It can't be both.
Well, it's triple. Don't worry about that. Um, anyway, so I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I turned my thermostat down like to where I generally it was anyway. The temperature in my apartment is now 10 degrees warmer than it was when I had it up to 85. So I'm thinking the heater is actually broken. And now I'm basically, and it was blowing in cold air, which is why it was always cold. And now I'm just sponging off the heat from above and below me, only I don't have to worry about the fan.
That's funny.
So I'm like, is this winning or is this losing? I
Well, you
don't
should
know.
definitely contact your landlord and be like, hey,
I kind of don't want it to get fixed though because it's warmer without it.
yeah,
uh,
but if it's not fixed when you leave, they might blame you for it.
I didn't. I'm gonna be leaving in the middle of summer. If they turn the heat
Oh,
on, they're idiots.
that's fair.
Let the next people deal with it. I'm like, I turned my thermostat down to like 62 from the people above and the people below. My apartment now is like 70. Where's my little thing here? Yeah, it's about 70. I'm like, this is too much. I'm gonna crack a window open.
Oh, absolutely. Mine gets up to about 72, and I'm like, nope, it's time for the AC to come back on.
Yeah, I don't. I try not to engage my AC unless it's necessary. If it's colder outside than it is inside, I'll just crack the window. Um, or if it's like substantially cold enough outside, I'll just crack the window. So yeah, fun.
Word.
Oh, what a week! What a
Yeah,
week indeed.
it's been a week.
Did I miss any releases that I should have been aware of that I wasn't aware of that I didn't watch?
Did you go and watch the thing that I sent you about Earth to Ned?
No, I forgot about watching that.
It was so freaking interesting. It's not very long.
Okay.
Um, it's only about 10 minutes or so
Okay.
of the 30-minute full episode. So I'll watch the 10 minutes and then I shut it off
Okay.
because I don't really care about the other stuff. Um, but yeah, it was super interesting.
I'm gonna be
Uh,
honest. I almost don't want to look behind the curtain on Earth to Ned because I understand it's like a team of puppeteers in a suit with all kinds of animatronics and things like that.
you want me to just give you the rundown?
I buy into Ned. Like if they put
Oh, absolutely.
if they put me on that couch and were interviewing me, I would talk to Ned normally. I think
Oh, absolutely.
I am actually offended sometimes when there's people on the couch and they're reacting like it's a puppet, and I'm like, no, it's Ned. What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't care who the voice actor is. I don't care who there's a man under there. I don't care anything about that. It's Ned. Respect him, dadgummit. Sorry, ish. Really.
But the funniest thing to me
Mm-hmm.
was when the clods are on like his shoulder and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
There's people with the clods on their hands, completely covered in green screen
Yeah.
behind him, and it's hilarious.
Oh, I mean, how else are you gonna get the clouds up there?
Oh, oh.
Clouds are still the best part.
But it actually takes 6 people to control Ned.
I'm not. I'm surprised it's only six. He's incredibly detailed.
Yeah, it's 3 people for the arms, and then there's one person inside of him
They have some math
that
issues.
controls his body. Huh?
They have some math issues with that. He has four
Well, it's
arms,
it's
three
one
people.
one yeah, one person in the middle
Uh huh.
with the 2 arms. And he's got a person on the right with one arm and a person on the left with one arm.
Okay.
And then he's got a person inside of him controlling the body.
Okay.
Then there's 2 guys sitting off to the side. One of them controls his eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one controls his mouth and is his voice.
It's kind of interesting that the guy controlling the mouth is also his voice. I wonder if that's like some sort of like motion capture that's being
Yeah.
translated
No,
into.
it's his hand.
It's his hand.
Yeah, he sticks his hand into this contraption
So
and manipulates it like he was to have his hand
he
inside of the head.
he's full on puppeteering,
Full
di-
on puppeteering
but digitally. That's awesome.
digitally.
That's
Yeah,
so
it's
cool.
super awesome. Super awesome. And
Ah.
he was talking about how he's only been puppeteering for a month, whereas some of these people have been puppeteering for years.
Uh huh.
And so he's still trying to learn the different mouth movements for the words he's saying. So he's like, so sometimes I'll say something like Mississippi, and it should be like Mississippi, but when I have to say it fast, it just looks like blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, I'm still trying to learn it. So
Well, that's
uh,
kind of like what. So last week the Corridor Digital they did a breakdown on how they think they got Luke Skywalker into the Mandalorian, and they postulate that it was through um what is it called? Uh,
There's
whoop, sorry, didn't mean. Sorry for people watching, people who are on the call with me, you didn't hear that. But people who are watching, I'm sorry for the loud noises there for a second. Um, but so a week ago, they did the VFX artists react to the Mandalorian, where they brought Luke in, and then they postulate as to how it is that they got Luke's face, young Luke's face, to be there, and it's really cool. It's a deep fake. They think that there's a they did it, that Disney has like their own proprietary deep fake
oh,
technology.
I'm sure.
And so I'll post the link to the video from their VFX Artists React, and then I'll post their attempt at recreating, doing the exact same thing onto one of their studio guys. Both are worth a watch, but they explain a little bit about that ba 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 thing because there's a lip movement is very hard to do properly, not
Yes.
just in puppeteering but also in visual effects. And so there's when you look really closely at Luke in the Mandalorian, he's just kind of doing like the ba 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 thing. But yeah, long podcast. I see. We've just begun. Um,
Yeah, so I think I think my heater may have gone out again
Ooh.
because twice now I've heard it sound like it's trying to kick on,
Uh-huh.
and then it just hasn't.
Hmm.
But I don't know if that's my heater because I've got my headphones on too, so I don't know if it's my heater or if maybe it was the uh, refrigerator. I don't know, but I'll have to keep an eye on it.
Oh, well, here's hoping you don't freeze to death. You're in Alabama. You'll be
Oh,
fine.
oh, I see what he's saying. You mentioned Star Wars, and so he's like, "Oh, it's a long podcast." That's exactly what he's saying.
I didn't get that because I was taking a screen grab of the 20 minutes that we've been recording. I'm like, no, no. I mean, like, we literally just started. And now I also see what he was actually saying.
Yes, that's hilarious. Uh,
Hmm.
Oddly enough, we're talking about the Muppets, not technically Star Wars.
Everything is Star Wars.
Oh,
um,
oh my goodness. Um, but yeah, and then um, Cornelius is controlled by two people.
okay.
One person controlling a hand, basically like Ralph is. One person has one hand, the other person has the mouth and the eyes in the other hand.
Right.
So, and then all the Claudes are one hand per Claude. But then they also showed, I don't know his name, Jen Hempson's son,
Uh,
um, Brian.
Brian. Okay. Yeah.
Brian Henson was showing around the where his office is, which is actually Charlie Chaplin's office,
Mm-hmm.
and Earth to Net is actually filmed in the Charlie Chaplin studio.
Nice.
They converted it in for Earth to Ned, so it's actually shot on Jim Henson property. It's crazy cool.
I want to be part of it. I want to be where the Muppets are.
I want to be where I stick my hand in. Wait.
Whoa. That's not where that's supposed to go.
Oh,
Literally. No. um. Wow. Went. Never mind. Backing out of that. That's not helping either. Let's talk about other things. uh.
okay. So I kind of want to hold off on the Star Wars one if we can, because that there is stuff to talk about there.
Hold off on the
Um,
Star Wars one. Did I miss something?
don't go scrolling. You'll get distracted.
Oh,
Um,
I'm not. You mean the one that you sent me on what was it, Thursday or something, or Friday?
I don't know what day it was.
The We can talk about
Thursday.
that, but I think that's going to be a lot of nothing. So we'll talk about it, but yeah, we'll talk about that later. All right, what do you want to talk about next?
Did you watch the? I couldn't remember who it was that was also interested in the marble racing that I watched on YouTube for a while. Turns out it was Monkey, but I sent it to you, Monkey, and Mumbles because I couldn't remember who it was. But there, I found somebody doing the same thing, but with hedgehog.
Yeah, you sent it to me, and I'm like, what am I watching? Did he lose it? I mean, like, there's a couple of things that we share back and forth, and I'm like, I was looking for like some sort of cue as to like where this was and like how
Yeah,
this was connected with the stuff that we talk about. I'm like, it's a hedgehog. Is that a pool noodle he's climbing on? What is?
I couldn't remember who the person was that it turned out to be Monkey because he messaged me back with the YouTube channel for the marble racing, and I was like, yes, it was you that I meant to send this to, but I sent it to a bunch of people because I couldn't remember who it was. Oh,
Because that's considerably less taxing than just being like, hey, were you the guy I
that's
was
just copy
talking?
copy paste click copy paste click. One of you would respond with the appropriate information.
The rest would be like,
The rest of you would be like, what? Nice, okay, no, cool. Moving on.
yep. That was kind of my reaction. Um,
Uh, okay. The Soul pitch meeting. What did you think of that?
I love the ending where they start to get into the philosophical ramifications of technically killing but not quite killing the cat.
Yes, absolutely. So, I was actually sitting at my parents' house a couple of weekends ago, and me and my sister were talking about Soul, and I said, "So, you know how when he's put back into the body, he goes into the cat, and then it shows the cat going into the great beyond?" She was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Then at the end of the movie, the cat is back to normal." She said, "Yeah." I said, "How?" Did like his life come back in him, or did like she goes, "Well, cats have 9 lives," and I went, "Oh, you're right. That makes sense." And I let it. God dropped it immediately. I was like, "Yes, that's acceptable."
That was generally my explanation as well, but I mean his pointing it out that technically because you kill the cat, um, it's now a new cat inhabiting the old cat's body, which
Yes,
is
that was hilarious. Yeah, yeah.
let's
Um,
just throw this in here too. We're just gonna post all the YouTube links. Gonna
there
really
was a
confuse Sass.
there was a couple of things he said that I was like, "You're missing the entire point of the movie," which is understandably the point that he makes in a lot of these. But I was like felt like I needed to defend the movie at some points.
Yeah. It really is just kind of a super basic storyline, but it's really well done. You don't have to have something that's dramatic and over the top and mind bending and all that kind of stuff. You just have to have. Someone should tell that to Christopher Nolan. But um, shots fired. Not that anyone's gonna hear those shots, but shots are fired. But yeah, I it's a very simple, sweet little story, and it doesn't require a lot of extra yada yada. Just it's just good. Just let it be. Right, Masters?
Let it go.
Let it go. Okay. I should still respond to Heskin. I haven't done that yet. The thing is,
Monkey's the only one that said anything in there. Heskin, Heskin's dead. That's
Heskin,
that's my that's
you
my
like
synopsis.
I'm trying to like I wasn't quite sure where I was going to try and take Brom, and then you all almost shot each other in the cockpit, and I'm like, this is not going well. So that's when I jumped in and played the voice of reason, mostly because Monkey told me I had to. And then we started playing this game, and I'm like, okay, we'll do this. And I really liked the idea that I caught you off guard. Um, that was fun. But then you're right back to challenging me, and kind of so is Monkey, and I'm like, I don't want to do this again. I really don't want to do this again. I'm exhausted. I don't want to have to go back through this whole rigmarole of hey, let's not fight. We're here for the money.
No, I'm not. What I sent you was not a challenge to a duel. It was a challenge to let's see if you can figure out where I'm at next time I hide from you.
Mm, I absolutely can. Um,
We'll see. Mumble says it's a contested role
how is it a contested role?
because you have to. He said just because you can doesn't mean you do.
Hmm. As if engaged. So that well, I don't know what that like. I don't know what that actually means because I didn't read the rule book. Because screw that. Um, but I'm assuming if I can be 200 meters away and basically still technically, by extension of that ruling or that description, as if engaged, close enough to sniff you, I should still have a really good chance of finding.
Yeah, I think his call on that is you have the ability to, if you try it, you would roll your perception or vigilance or whatever
Uh huh.
against my stealth.
Yeah, I understand that that's his ruling. I just disagree with his ruling
Oh, well, that's fair.
because character description says character is broken. Screw you. More or less. Sorry, mumbles. More or less. Um, yeah, I'm at a point where I've looked at this like 6 times today. I'm like, I don't know where to go with this. I'm just lost.
Yeah, it's a lot to do with uh, uh I
I'm
think if it was just me, you, and Monkey, that it would be going a lot faster and a lot smoother. But Foxy and Jayseed are Jayseed's new to roleplay in general.
yeah, and
And
he's
this was a heavy thing to throw him in right off the bat.
uh-huh.
And then Foxy is just Foxy, unimaginative, and
I
by his own words,
I
I'm not
I
calling
I
him out.
I you know what? I'm still not processing Foxy properly yet. So just in general,
Yeah, I get you. I went through that yesterday. I've had more time to process than you. I'm still not there myself.
I just get this random picture. I'm like, okay, that's Masters and that's Mumbles. Why did he send me this? Who are these people?
Now you
And
understand.
and honestly, Foxy was my first thought when you answered back when you told me like, hey, who do you think this is? And I'm like, I think it might be Foxy because you're like he's the one you're talking to the most, but like, there's no way that that is Foxy because I have the same perception. Like Foxy is, you know, 5'2" and 78 pounds soaking wet. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my
he
goodness.
has said though that he's over 6 feet. He said that a couple times.
Yeah, he said that a lot.
You know. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a special word from our sponsor, which is Gavi's uncontrolled addiction to 3D printing. Thank you all for tuning in. We return you now to your regularly scheduled podcast. Welcome back, everyone, to the remainder of the World Tours podcast. We apologize for the portion which has been removed due to copyright infringement. We were really infringing.
Oh, fine. I'll stop singing Let It Go.
Very good. Thank you. Moving right along. Oh, there we go again. Darn it.
Oh,
Ah, okay.
okay. Um, do. So, is the whole Wall Street thing, is that an off topic or an off?
I suppose it depends on how on if we're considering it to be political or not.
Yeah, that was a borderline thing because I've seen you post a couple of things
Mm-hmm.
that like I agree with, so I'm like, maybe we can talk about that on the podcast.
I mean, if it was just the fact that we agree or disagree on something,
That's
then
true.
there's a lot of things we would talk about. Um, but I think we should talk about GameStop. I've enjoyed this last week a lot.
So I
Yes.
woke up Wednesday? Question mark. I think it was Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday morning, and I saw a message from Jazz in the tabletop Discord,
Yep.
and talking about it, and I was like, you know what? I've never really done this whole stock market thing. I've kind of looked at it a couple of times, but it still confuses the heck out of me.
Fair.
Um, but I thought, let me go look. And so I looked, and the opening price for that day was like $12 and something,
Uh huh.
and it was fluctuating based on aftermarket um, buys and sells.
Right.
I thought, you know what? Let's just try it for a day. I'll throw in some lump of cash in here, buy these stocks, and then maybe I'll get lucky and I can make a huge profit today. Because I'd actually been following the whole GameStop thing a little bit, and then I saw Tuesday night before I went to bed that somebody was saying about AMC as well.
Uh huh.
And so since it was already low, I thought, well, let me jump on this while I can. Um, and so I went in to Robinhood and I put in my money and I went in and bought shares of AMC.
Uh huh.
And then Jazz messaged me and was like, "Hey, did you see where they've shut down where you can't buy shares on Robinhood for these uh, companies?" I was like, "Well, I just bought them." I was like, "And it's still showing me that I can." And then all of a sudden, the website started freaking out.
Right.
Like I would click on one thing and it wouldn't go, and then it was resetting and giving me a 404 just over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, something's definitely up. And then I finally got logged back in just before the market opened, and they had canceled my order,
Yep.
and I was furious.
Welcome to the class action lawsuit.
Um, and then they um, they that was when it stopped showing me that I could purchase so many more, and I was furious. And I was trying my best. Like PayPal now has Acorns
Mm-hmm.
attached to them.
Right.
And so I tried to put the money into that, but that's more of like a long term investment type thing.
Right.
And so I had to cancel that. And then I tried to, every time I tried to go and take my money out of Robinhood,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it kept kicking, like it would, I would press the button for it to cancel the order and it would kick me out and tell me to log back in. And it did that for 3 hours.
Yep.
And then finally they let me cancel the money order, and I got it all the money back. And then I emailed and got the Acorns money back because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to do this. If I can do this, show me how. And if not, can I have my money back, please? And they very quickly, Acorns very quickly gave me my money back because that's not what they do. Um,
So you basically had a Mary Poppins experience where you're trying to get your tuppence back from the bank.
Absolutely. Um, yeah, absolutely. And it wasn't a small amount of money, I will add.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it big, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so after I got it all settled, where I wasn't going to actually lose any money from things going crazy, and I actually had to go into work that day. When I got back, I looked it up, and first of all, if the market had stayed exactly the same, which it wouldn't have had Robinhood not done what they did,
Yep.
uh, if it had stayed exactly the same, even with people being able to buy, I would have made almost $2,000
Yep.
if it had stayed the same, and it wouldn't have. It would have definitely gone up and up and up and up,
Mm-hmm.
like GameStop did. Um, and so, yeah, I filed a complaint with the SEC,
Good.
and uh, I was on Reddit earlier today, and a ad popped up, and I reported it for misleading information. It made me happy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was my excitement with it and frustration.
I'm looking for the meme that I saw. It was perfect. Um, because it was the Disney Robin Hood, right? And they had a Robin Hood there, and then it's like how it started, how it's going, kind of thing, and it turned into the sheriff of Nottingham. Just, I mean, the whole idea behind Robin Hood is that it's supposed to be easy investing for the common man. And as soon as the common man starts to make a little bit of money, they're like, "You must stop," and we will
Yeah.
stop you. I just, it made me upset. I was not part of any of it. I considered a lot. I'm still considering doing some stuff. Um, for, people are telling me that it's a fake out, and they're trying to people on the internet are saying it's a fake out, and they're trying to distract people from GameStop and AMC and BlackBerry and Nokia and whatever else stock is down the line. But I'm kind of curious about Dogecoin because it's so cheap.
It was.
It was. Well, I mean, it's still under 50 cents.
Wait, what?
Dogecoin.
Where? How? How?
Because Dogecoin started out at like 1/100th of a penny.
Yes, but like, how do I invest? That's what I'm asking.
That's a great question because Robinhood and a bunch of other apps are also blocking trading in Dogecoin.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Then it's like if it goes up, if you, it's the kind of thing where you can buy so much that if it goes up 1%, you make ungodly amounts of money because of how much you can buy.
Yeah.
But the trick is, it's been at like a percentage of 1 cent for so long that like the joke is even right now on Twitter, like Dogecoin is keeps tweeting out that like, hey, we might hit 5 cents by the end of next month. It's like, okay, but if you hit 5 cents and I have 9,000 shares, holy freaking crap! Or I mean,
Yeah.
nine. I would have to like, that's like $1. Okay, maybe need more. 9,000 shares right now is like $1, so
Yeah.
we might have to do some
Um,
stuff.
but yeah, I saw. I think it was Vsauce two tweeted out and said, "Hey guys, if this keeps up, I might be able to buy me a 2 for 1 deal at the like at Arby's or something
Mm-hmm.
for date night." And then he tweeted almost immediately after that, "Ooh, actually, this might buy food for a month."
Yeah, like Dogecoin is alive for whatever reason. But mostly for the memes. It's it's
Absolutely for the memes.
yeah. Um, I mean, okay, this is not the meme I was looking for, but it works pretty well too. I'm not upset with finding this.
Um,
um,
my favorite meme that I saw, it was Robin. The first frame, it was a comic, and Robin Hood, stole from Little John. Little John? No. Um,
like this is exactly what happened. This is exactly what happened. Like it's a meme going back years, I'm sure. But holy crap, this is exactly what happened. Robin Hood hands over stolen fortune. Here you are, my poor friend. Wow, thanks. I'm rich. You're what?
yeah, yeah. So um, this one, what is it? What is it? Is it Little John? Is that the name of the brother in Robin Hood? I'm totally blanking right now.
The brother?
Yeah, the mean evil king
No, that's
as
Prince John.
Richard
Little
Prince
John.
John.
Little John is the sidekick.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so it's got Prince John, and Robin Hood goes over and slices the money and takes the money and runs away, and Prince John is chasing after him, and then he goes over and hands it to this old maid lady. She's like, "Oh, bless you," and the next pane is Prince John going, "Hey, now that you've stolen from me and given her all of my money, I'm the poor one." And Robin Hood goes, "Fair is fair," and takes it from the old maid. Same
Oh,
principle you just posted,
yeah.
but
Mm. I'm just, yeah. Mm. It's just, it's one of those things where it's like, it was a great moment. Like, if, think about it this way. Right now, this is a little bit political. I'll touch on it and I'll get right back. I promise. We're a very divided country. Very divided. Left don't like the right don't like the left. Doesn't matter which side you fall on, you're mad at somebody. And if you say you're not, you're mad at me for saying that you're lying. But so there we go. You're mad at somebody. Here's the thing. This was unifying the country. Everybody was cheering as like these hedge funds were going down, and we're like, yes. And then what happens? Um, well, maybe if you didn't do that, it'd be kind of cool. And they start blocking people
yeah,
from just trade from. They're stopping people from using their own money. Think about that.
So yeah. So apparently Robinhood has updated their user agreement. I just had to scroll through it. I
Oh,
probably should actually read it.
I'm sure they have. We reserve the right to restrict your access to the market at any time that feels convenient to us or the hedge fund managers who are actually, behind us doing everything.
Uh, ah, um, there. I just Google instead of reading it myself, I just Googled it, and there's a bunch of articles saying that the new user agreement basically says that if something happens, you can't sue us.
Well, it's a shame that they didn't think about that beforehand.
Yeah.
Because,
But Dogecoin is currently sitting at just under 3 cents a share.
they might make a nickel by the end of February.
I kind of just want to drop $100 into this and then just forget about it for a couple of years.
I mean, they're talking about trying to get it to $1 by the end of the year. $100 buys a lot of Dogecoin. This is not a. This is, by the way, we're gonna throw this
This is
disclaimer.
not a financial. No, absolutely not. That would be almost 3,400 shares. So that would be $3,400 if it got $100
No,
turned into 3,400.
no, that'd be a lot more.
If it got it to a dollar, no, I
So,
just did the math.
$100 times.
Huh?
Okay, let me see. All right, let me get my
But
let me get my calculator out here. All right, let me find it. Where'd it go? Oh,
$100 divided by uh,
that's the wrong thing.
0.029
Okay.
gives you 3448 shares. And then if it went up to a dollar, that would be $3,448.
Okay.
This is per share now.
Per share.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I would basically buy 3,400 shares, and then whatever the price is, that would be times that many shares.
Okay, wait a second. What is the current price of share?
Just it's 0.029, and then it's fluctuating the last three.
All right. So 100 divided by 0.029. All right.
So the thing is, the easiest way for me to buy these shares is through Robinhood,
So
but I don't want to do that.
so that's 3,400 shares, 3,448 shares. Okay, so
Yeah.
all right. So what you actually do is okay. Uh, how do how do I do this math here? So 3,448, 3,448 times. Oh no, it would actually just be $3,440. Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right.
I know I'm right.
I know. It takes me a second. I have to see the math myself. I'm sorry. We're good. We're good. Yes, it would be $3,448. So, not bad. Not bad at all. Just imagine though when it gets to $2. Plus, it'd be kind of interesting to see if Dogecoin. I mean, it certainly wouldn't do it at $1 or something. Although it would be funny if they did it just to make sure that it didn't get above $1. If they did a split on their coins. And a split for those who are uninformed is when they take your coin or your coin or your share or whatever, and they multiply it and they hand you back a number of coins or shares whose cumulative value is equal to the one you previously owned. So it could be a 2-to-1 where they cut it in half, or it could be a 3-to-1 where they cut it in thirds, or 4-to-1 in quarters, and so on and so forth. And then you start to accumulate interest based upon the total number of shares you have, which is incredibly, incredibly valuable. More shares equals more money. More money does not necessarily equal more money. That's why the general rule of investing, which most people don't follow, is buy low, sell high. Because if you do that, you that's actually where accumulation comes in. Which is really what the hedge fund managers were trying to take advantage of, but then they made a stupid mistake, and the thing is, what's happening right now is 100% replicatable if anything ever, forever from now on. Like this is an isolated incident only in the academic sense. It's the first time it's been done. But now that it has been done, anybody can start this all over again. This by itself could kill all hedge funds permanently. Because anytime they try and do a short sell like this,
Yeah, short selling should be illegal anyways.
and for a long time it was, I forget what happened, because short sells is what caused the Great Depression. People back then they didn't call it a short sale; they called it buying on the margin. Um, and yeah, that became an issue. And so that's when people were starting to jump out of skyscrapers back then, partially because they didn't have the up to date numbers of everything. The actual market crash wasn't as bad as people were thinking it was, but they were seeing the initial dip and going, there's no way that that's going to stop. And then they were just taking a brief smoke on the patio that wasn't there. Is that a good way of saying that, or is that worse? I'm not sure. Um, I have no delicacy. Anyway, so so yeah, this. But if now that the public knows that it can organize around an idea like this,
Yeah,
you can't put that genie back in the bottle.
yeah, yeah.
You can block trades on stocks that they've already done it on, but I think the number that I saw yesterday, which was the last number that I saw in regards to this, is that um, just on GameStop stock alone, hedge funds have lost more than $70 billion
Yeah.
because they weren't
Yep.
because they weren't just short selling; they short sold more stock than they had to sell, which is a problem. Because if you sell more than you have, number one, I think that's probably illegal. And number two, you still have to pay it all back. So, and this is actually something I saw talked about also yesterday, that this is a great opportunity for GameStop, who is kind of on its way out, which is why it got targeted for a short sell in the first place. They now have an unbelievable amount of free capital.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if they are smart, they'll use that to reorganize their entire company. Um, I heard an idea floated that they should make it into a destination spot for gamers. Like set up, create like a. How aware are you of like gaming and computer bars in Asia?
Very familiar. I was going to open one up here.
Oh well, someone's been saying that GameStop should convert their entire model over to become America's gaming bar.
Oh, absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. Yes.
And they have the infrastructure, they have the locations, they have the prime real estate inside of shopping malls and all everywhere else all across the country.
Yeah,
All they
absolutely.
all they needed was a nice big influx of cash. Oh gee, what just happened?
Yeah, exactly. This could be the comeback for GameStop in a big way. Please, somebody at GameStop, be listening to these good ideas.
Well, fortunately, the person who I heard say it is someone with a whole lot more viewers than we have. So maybe
Good.
someone out there is like, hey, I heard this idea. We could be making money hand over fist without this, but now we can actually do it because we have the money to like retool, like close everything down for a month, clear out all the shelves, and start put in like a small drink bar and a couple of gaming tables and call it good.
Yeah.
Well, also put some monitors and stands and chairs and computers and Xboxes and PS4s, whatever number of PS is up to. I don't know. Yes. So yeah, I think this has been a very entertaining week. I am kind of disappointed that I didn't jump on it. I'm kind of disappointed that I wasn't a part of it. But that's not to say, like I said, that all is lost because all I gotta do now is wait for the next one. Because the cat's out of the bag. Good luck, folks. I mean, that's not to say that.
Oh,
And the thing is, I am an investment minded person, so I already have a bunch of investments going, which is probably why I didn't jump on this. Probably because
yeah. I all I have is I've never had disposable income before, so this is a new thing for me. Um, and so uh, yeah, I have a 401k that I don't contribute to. My business or my employer contributes to it.
mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't have um,
Anything else.
anything else. So
And say I have a couple of investments. I have a personal retirement account or an IRA, uh, and then I also have my 401k at work, which I contribute the maximum to up to the employer match. Because I'm gonna throw this out here: if you're not in control of your money, which you're not, if you're doing it through your employer, you should only contribute up to the maximum and make sure that it's
I
uh,
I have control over my money.
kind of.
I I can tell them what to put money into
Yes,
through.
you have the illusion of control of your money. Congratulations. It's a lot more complicated than that. I'm not going to get into it here. Um, and be not just because it's long and complicated, but because I have been securities licensed in the past, and I mean I technically still am. It's just not active at the moment. It's on. It's in a way. The government wants more money for me to have it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to pay at the moment, so I'm not paying for it because I wasn't doing that much with it. Um, anyway, suffice it to say, I have had a license. I technically still do. So there's some things that I'm not permitted to say legally. There we go. Um, so to dance around the subject a little bit, there, um, I contribute up to um, the maximum that my employer matches, and which is $5,000 a year, and then they throw in their 1250, and then it's resting and growing. And someday I may retire, but not particularly with just that, because with inflation the way it's going, it's not going to be enough. Anyway, let's move on from there before I get myself in trouble.
Yes, let's.
That being said, if you can find a way to do it, let's stop there. Um, anyway, so we've talked about a bunch of stuff already. Wow, look at all that.
Yeah, we're rocking and rolling tonight.
All week long. I still need to figure out something to post in Heskin.
Bless my soul, hook is on a roll.
There's that copyright infringement again.
Dang it.
Ah. Like, you have no idea how frustrating this is. I'm actually going to have to go back and listen to this podcast to find that and take it out. Do you know the last time that I listened to a podcast, Masters?
um, no, I
Two,
don't. I was gonna
2014.
I was I was gonna try and give a an educated guess, but no, I haven't got a clue.
Not since 2014 when I stopped recording the last podcast I did. Which is probably not a good thing to be admitting to, but that's the way it is. It's kind of like the idea that you shouldn't get hooked on your own product. That's what I'm going for.
Okay, let's bring that into the situation.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, So we should talk about our lack of D&D this week
Yes,
again.
there has been a lack of D&D.
What do you suppose the chances are we're actually going to have D&D tomorrow?
Um, so, uh, what did y'all do last Saturday, Sunday?
Nothing.
I saw y'all all in there.
We showed up and I think we were waiting. Oh, I think we were waiting for Micro, and
Oh yeah, and he never showed up.
you
I
never.
saw that he wasn't in there.
Yeah, he never showed up, and it was like 7:45, and I was talking about 3D printing, and they were kind of like, you ever get that
Not listening.
sense? You ever get that sense like you're talking about something that nobody else is interested in? I kind of it's true. Okay, so a couple years ago there was the big um CrossFit craze, and everybody who was into CrossFit was telling you about CrossFit and how great CrossFit was, and they're doing
Yeah.
CrossFit, and then it became like the vegans took that spot over, and the vegans were like twice as annoying. I think 3D printing is the next group. I'm gonna be,
That's funny.
and I say that as I'm looking at my beautiful 3D printed Grogu on my desk right now, um, and other things that are printed.
I can't believe you decapitated Grogu.
I should post pictures of Grogu. I'm gonna post pictures of Grogu. Here we go. Boop. Boop. There we go. Ta-da! I also bought a Dremel for my 3D printing because that seemed like an appropriate thing to do. There's parts and stuff that don't print smooth, so you have to like sand them down. And why get sandpaper when you can buy a power tool, right?
Yeah.
Masters.
Yep. Sorry, I hiccuped right in the middle of that
Mm,
answering.
mm. So yeah, it's. I mean, he came out beautifully. He really did. Um, so
I agree.
I'm, I'm
So
gonna,
when are you gonna start? When are you gonna start painting him?
I'm not painting him. I'm giving him to someone who is a artistically inclined person, which is something that I am not, and I'm quite sure that they will paint him. I actually I haven't told them that he's coming, um, but I talked with a family member of theirs, and I'm like, hey, should I glue him together, or should I leave him unglued so that they can have better access to paint him because I know they're going to paint him, and they're like, yeah, just leave him unglued. They would prefer to have access. They don't even know it's coming, but it's like we know. Um, so yeah, he's super cool. I need to put his hands back in. Hmm.
Wait, put his hands back in?
Yeah, his hands printed separately from the rest of him.
Hands or head?
Both. If you look at the picture, um, the one picture here. So the picture on the bottom, you can see that there are no hands. But if you look at the picture at the top, that's him fully assembled, and he does have hands. The hands were printing when I took the picture on the bottom. These are taken out of order. So, are you? What are you looking up here, Masters?
Sass messaged me and said Gabby is on the verge of learning the printer to go that pic I sent you, and I was like, you sent me. Oh! I see it.
Care to share it with the rest of us?
Oh, I made a girlfriend with my 3D printer.
Oh, I mean, uh,
Oh.
that's not the thing I'm going to get myself in trouble with about. Like, yeah, that's not a concern. what might be a concern is that I printed myself out a bunch of snap caps and printing myself out an ammo tray and all. Just, it just goes together so well, so easily. You know, and they print it out so beautifully. I have a problem, Masters. I have a real problem.
You do. I agree.
But it's so much fun, and I'm really enjoying it. What's that saying? How can anything that feels so right be so wrong? Hmm.
Yeah.
I,
You
I should
definitely have a problem.
I shouldn't say that because I'm today I had the reason I was a little late tonight is we have the church I go to. We took the young people to a youth event, and on the way there, one of the young people was like, "Hey, so why aren't you our youth pastor?" I'm like, "Well,
Too much responsibility, kid. Next.
like, have you met you?" It's a pretty good reason to me not to be a youth pastor around here. Um, yeah, I was a little bit more gracious than that, but not much. And and yeah, but I have no idea where I was going with that. Oh, about me being a bad person. Yeah, I should not be a youth pastor because I'm a bad person, and I would corrupt all of them like way worse than people corrupted me in the past. Because once I get a concept, I run with it and I have fun, and then I have to kind of walk that back. But I'm not so good at the walking it back thing. Um, now you got that song stuck in your head.
I do. I've been singing "It's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow" all day, and now that's in my head.
Uh huh. I don't think that's an improvement, actually.
It's not. I'd rather be singing the other one. Where? Okay, I'm.
Seriously, in terms of how of like songs about tomorrow, how is it that only a day away is more popular than a great big beautiful tomorrow? It's a much more chipper song.
There's a great big beautiful tomorrow
Shining
shining at
at
the
the
end
end of
of every
every
day.
day.
There's a great big beautiful tomorrow, and tomorrow's just a dream away.
See? It's a great song. Underrated Bride too. I really enjoyed it.
Follows his dream. That's the start.
All right, Masters, we have to breach a topic.
Okay.
We have to actually talk about something at this point.
Okay.
Brace yourself.
Um. Yeah. Which one are we going to talk about? There's two of them floating out there. That's going to be fun.
WandaVision.
Okay. That's the better of the two. Well, I don't know. We'll find
I
out.
think the one that you're really concerned about is going to be a lot less intense than you think it's going to be.
Okay.
But okay, WandaVision. You have been leading these a little bit, and then I'll take over later on because I always do that. So why don't you
Yeah.
start off in
Absolutely.
episode 4?
Okay. Episode 4 was really freaking good. I enjoyed it immensely, but it only highlighted the fact that it could have been episode 1. Um, because they in episode 4 they go and hit all the highlights that you would need to know from episodes 1, 2, and 3. So it's like, why even have episodes 1, 2, and 3? Those could be extras in like, I understand why you had to shoot some of those scenes so that they could be in episode 4, but like, seriously, those could have been extras that you added on, and this should have been episode 1.
So I understand precisely what you're saying, and you are correct. This could have been episode 1, but at the same time, what they're doing is called parallel storytelling. There are two stories being told here, and we are now getting our glimpses of story number 2. story number one is what is happening in television land with Wanda and Vision. And now that we are starting to get actual glimpses of what is going on in story number two. We are technically the actual progression is only happening in story number two. Whatever's going on in Westview, we don't know. It's weird. It's just whatever Wanda wants it to be. And I think we can now say from episode four that it is entirely what she wants to be. Otherwise, the lovely Miss Rambeau, if she got kicked out, most definitely would not have said it's all Wanda. Like,
Yeah.
clearly that we have now confirmed that this is some sort of psychotic delusion that she's having, and it's having real world impact on the world around us. And she's not being contained by the field; she is generating the field, and people who go in there and everything that walks in is changed somehow, which makes me wonder how that actually affected Monica Rambeau when she goes in there. Like, because she looks drastically different from when she first goes in to the end. I mean, everything. She drastically changes her appearance. So I'm wondering if that's a function of Wanda's power, or if that is something else. And I'm not. We don't have the answer for that yet.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea from the drone, at least, that they collected. That I do like the idea that she is actively changing the reality of the things around her, where it could have been possible that Monica was in there existing under some sort of delusion because Wanda changes. Her power is both physical and psychosomatic. She also has some telepathy and telekinesis and all kinds of stuff, but she can
Yeah.
directly affect the
She
mind of
she
people at the
she
same time
basically has control over all of matter.
she's kind of like the embodiment of the Phoenix Force, which I'm kind of curious to see if they're going to delve into, particularly with the inclusion of the X-Men. Because I mean, not maybe not the Phoenix Force, but she's kind of like Jean Grey in terms of her presented powers, because she has telekinesis, she has telepathy, but she also has just other reality warping things, which kind of makes her a living reality gem. I'm not sure. It's really weird. They She has no clearly defined rules for how her power works.
Yeah.
And while that's cool and it's a really interesting idea to use a soft magic system within a world built around hard magic systems, it's also really confusing because you don't know what she can and cannot do at any given moment. I
Yeah.
mean, like in Civil War, I'm pretty sure it's been a while since I've seen Civil War, and I think I've only actually seen Civil War once, which is probably something I need to fix. Good thing I have Disney Plus, I can fix it. But I'm pretty sure in Civil War she sent Vision to the center of the earth. Pretty sure that's what I saw happen. And then he just like pops back up. Hey, where'd everybody go?
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, with that being the thing that she can do, and just do it, not like have to build up time and energy and everything else, but just like, oh, hey Vision, why don't you go see what it's like in the middle, and just snap her fingers in the way he goes. Like, there's not a lot of gray area. There's way too much gray area as to what she can and cannot do. In fact, we have not really seen anything that she cannot do, which kind of makes you wonder how Thanos was ever really an issue. But that's a whole other
Yeah.
story. Except, I guess you could say that he was just pumped up because of all the different gems and stuff. But yeah, everything else in Marvel sticks basically to a hard magic system, which is a narrative way of saying that everything else in Marvel has rules. There's not really been a anime style power of friendship and they overcome their obstacle just because the story needs them to, kind of thing. Every villain that they defeated, every obstacle they've overcome, every challenge that they faced has been done so within the confines of very concrete rules, which is good, and because it's cohesive within the larger comic book framework that all of these stories are coming from. and all the characters who are built up. Like, Tony could not survive a nuclear blast, no matter how good his Iron Man armor is. That's just
Yeah.
understood. It's a hard magic system. Um, the next softest magic system that we have in Marvel right now is vibranium, but even that seems to have some level of hard. There's a point at which it will break. We know this because Thanos broke Cap's shield. We know that it's not an absolutely undefeatable metal, but that it just takes an awful lot. So there is some level of cap to its ability. And so that creates a hard rule. We don't necessarily know what that is, but because that did happen, we know that there is a hard rule. So that makes it predictable to a certain extent as us, the audience. Wanda ain't got no rules. In fact, it kind of begs the question: at the assault of Wakanda, why didn't she just snap her fingers and disappear the whole army? Because as near as we can tell, that's except for the fact that she was next to Vision. Um, it Okoye's question in that battle was like, why did we leave her in the back?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
why? She's like the best one we got out here. Why didn't we use her the whole time? The whole time she should have been up
The,
here
the
doing
same
stuff.
reason that the same reason that Captain Marvel is not on planet most of the time. She's too powerful. We gotta have some. If she's in it at the beginning, then there's not much action going on.
Well, here's the thing: Captain Marvel just might have been on planet Earth at that time, and they okay. Oh, it's spoilers. Masters, do you want spoilers? Do you want me to keep my big fat mouth shut?
I don't care.
Monica Rambeau is Captain Marvel.
Monica Rambeau.
The black lady from episode 4, and who was whatever.
She's Captain Marvel.
She's Cap.
How is she Captain Marvel?
When Captain Marvel was originally created, she was Monica Rambeau.
Uh huh.
Uh huh. And so, I mean, that is it. I mean that's what's going on here. Um, Let me find it here. So Captain Marvel, right here. This is nice, very descriptive comic book cover. Thank you very much for. What do you mean my files are too powerful? Okay, we'll get a smaller one. Stupid. No, I don't pay for Nitro.
I do,
I know. Ta-da!
but I do it so that I can use all of my emotes anywhere.
Yeah, that would be a thing, but I don't care that much. It's just annoying when I'm trying to look up something or trying to post a picture. It's like, no, you can't do that. So Captain Marvel was originally Monica Rambeau, and that doesn't actually. Here we go. Better. Yeah, I'm not lying. Ta-da! Okay. And this was actually her original costume, which is kind of hinted at with her uh necklace from episode 3. Because that's generally kind of the overall shape of that necklace, and actually it's the logo for sword. Um, but initially, all of Captain Marvel's powers were given to Monica Rambeau, and so Carol Danvers inherited them in the original comic book art. This kind of seems to be going the opposite direction. So it's kind of and of course Monica Rambeau isn't just Captain Marvel, but she's also she has already existed within the present Marvel canon because well, they told us that, but she's like the little girl from Captain Marvel. Throw that up there too. Ta-da! So it's it's a lot of bridges to cross. I'm gonna be honest. There's a lot of bridges to cross here, and I'm trying to piece
Yeah.
them all together in my head, and it's not that easy. But somehow or another, the powers of Captain Marvel are going to be bestowed upon Monica Rambeau if they have not already been, but were which I would kind of think they were based on how she made her exit in episode 4. Now that we see how she left, it wasn't that she just like poof and was thrown outside. She was physically thrown through like 6 buildings. If she doesn't have something super going on, she's dead. My suspension of disbelief is at an end. I'm sorry. There's a limit to what I can just buy, and that's it. But yeah, uh, I am generally of the opinion that she has uh, something super going on already, whether it's fully realized, whether she's ever tapped into it, which was kind of hinted at that maybe she was in the conversation she had in the office with whatever his name was. I don't care. I'm not opening up their IMDb again because last time it was this got spoiled for me and I got really upset. This was what I was freaking out about last week because I'm like, oh, she's Monica Rambeau, and then all things fell into place and I got really upset. But she was talking to the guy about how the drones usually run chaperone for her, which kind of says that she might be a powered person already and that they use these to monitor her as she goes into superhero things. Um, but there's no concrete evidence of that yet, except for the fact that she got thrown through 6 buildings and she's still breathing, which you know, fair, in my opinion at least.
Well,
If you got thrown
I
through six
mean,
buildings, I don't think you'd be breathing real well either.
I mean, with it being Wanda's reality, she could have easily broken the walls behind her, just trying to send her out safely.
That didn't really seem to be in her mindset at the time. Pardon me for psychoanalyzing the crazy woman who has invented a false reality and seems to be rewriting it every time it goes slightly against what she wants. But with that, I mean, I just don't see her being that gentle about it. Um, and even so, the speed at which she would have to be moving to get thrown that far, also, even if all the walls were broken behind her, thoughtfully, just to make sure she doesn't get hurt or anything, um, she still would have broken a lot of bones when she came flying out the other side. And she didn't seem to be damaged. She seemed to be stunned, but not damaged, as it were. Again, this is conjecture until episode 5 when we actually see her like stand up, or we see her in a hospital bed with every single part of herself bandaged. But um, which again, if she shows up in episode 5 and she's got bandages all over, then forget it. I was wrong. But right now, I'm seeing her as being some level of powered person, just from the conversation that she had with the guy in the office, and also the fact that she's not dead, because that would have killed me, I think, one way or the other. Um, yeah, is that fair, Masters?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, we'll say it is because and then we can all be disappointed together later on if I'm wrong. Um, so yeah, I'm tepidly optimistic. I do think that that it was necessary to have those first 3 episodes to establish story number 1, because otherwise, let's be frank. Story number 1 is
Let's
doing
not be frank. He's a terrible person.
well. That's fair. Story number 1 is dramatically less impactful to the overall Marvel narrative as story number 2 is, at least from what we can see right now. Story number 1, of course, being Wanda and Vision in Television Land. Story number 2 being everybody outside trying to figure out what's going on inside Television Land. Um, how and why it came to be. So, story number 1, they had to establish it as something important, or establish it on its own, really, so that we would believe that it was important after they put everything together and, um, you know, just tried to make life interesting and or difficult. Um, yeah. Otherwise, we'd all just be like, "Oh, story number two. Let's just much like you are right now. Let's leave out all of Wanda and Vision from their own series." um,
Well, not the whole series, but I mean, you introduced them in that episode very well. They're in their own reality, and then you work on it from there. The first two,
well, they're trying to
just
create like a character arc between them. They're trying. I think they really are trying to show now that we know specifically that it is just Wanda the one that's kind of doing everything. Um, I think we can say that they're trying to project to the audience this idea that she's working through stuff on her own and may be unaware of her effect on the larger world around her. Either unaware or uncaring or both.
yeah.
Ultimately, I'm still going to watch the episode next week, so, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the first three episodes didn't turn me off to watching the whole thing because I knew it was eventually going to get somewhere. I just wanted it to get there.
Yeah. Um, although I do have a lot of appreciation for their like harkening back to um, old TV shows. Like the first one was definitely shot on the set of Dick Van Dyke. The second one was shot on the set, I mean, maybe not on the original set, but like on a recreated set for the Dick Van Dyke show. And the second one was a recreated set for um, what was the second one a recreated set of?
Bewitched.
Oh yeah, Bewitched. And then the third one, I still not entirely sure.
I think it's supposed to be um,
It's either the Brady Bunch, the Partridge
the Brady
Family, or the
Bunch.
Monkeys, and I don't think it's the Monkeys. Although the
The
Monkeys
Brady
did
Bunch,
play
I'm
us
pretty
play him
sure.
out. Yeah, it's really it's no more than a Google search away, but I'm not Google searching it because I don't care that much. Um,
Mm.
yeah. So yeah, it's cool, and actually, yeah. I appreciate their harkening back to it, but I'm not really sure why they're presenting it the way that they are. Um, it'll also be interesting to see what happens with these kids that she has willed into existence.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not going to cause problems at all.
No.
Like it's one thing to live within a delusion. It's another thing to like be a theoretically all powerful sorceress and will something into existence. Um, it's a it's a whole different level. Um, I'm not sure that I'm ready to deal with those consequences. All right. Anything else about WandaVision?
Nope, I think that covered everything.
Okay. It's only a half-hour episode, so there's not too much to really throw in there, other than just random speculation.
Yeah. But yeah,
Um,
I'm excited for next episode.
mm-hmm. Now, do you want to talk?
Which is the first time I've been able to say that actually. I was ready for the next episode after each other time, but now I'm excited about the next episode.
Oh, one quick thing. What were your thoughts about Marcy in this episode?
Marcy, Marcy, Marcy. What are you talking about? Oh, yes, I loved it.
Okay.
Loved her. Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
100%. As soon as I saw her, I thought, oh, this is going to be good. Of course, they would bring her in as the brilliant analyst, and she would knock it out of the park.
For at least for physics.
Yeah.
I guess that chemical engineer really is useless. Ha! Those who don't know get that joke, you need to watch the episode. Haha. Um, all right. Next topic.
Next topic.
It's your topic. Why are you so unhappy about this?
Because it's Star Wars related.
What's wrong with that?
You tend to ramble.
I tend to ramble about whatever the topic is.
Yes, but you go on an extra mile for Star Wars.
Okay. I can sum everything up here really quickly.
All right, let's go for it.
Masters on Friday, I think. I saw it the day
Thursday.
before, Thursday, whatever. Posted on January 27th, 2021 by Rebecca Burton. He sends me this article. It says Disney Plus to reportedly retcon Star Wars sequel trilogy. It's not going to happen.
You don't think so?
Nope. And here are my two reasons why. Number one, Kathleen Kennedy is still in charge of the larger Star Wars narrative. And the trilogy which we got, as messed up and flawed and as much of an offense and insulting as it was to fans, is her baby and she thinks it's perfect. Reason number two. Although there does exist footage of the original cast, Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, on screen at the same time from the filming, so extra stuff that was shot because there was no plan when they made the sequels. Even though that footage does exist, there does not exist enough of it to put together a film, and Carrie Fisher is dead, and there's no way on earth they would be able to put something reasonable together which would make the fans happy. I think what we're going to see instead is we're going to see a retcon of the sequel trilogy through ancillary projects done outside of it to give a better explanation beyond just Luke went crazy and almost killed his nephew, and as a result, his nephew went crazy when he stopped his uncle from killing him, and then killed everybody, and then killed everybody, and then killed everybody, and killed everybody, and killed everybody. Rather than that being the narrative, oh, and behind all of it was Palpatine, who was already dead. They're going to make Luke more intelligent, and that they're actually going to retcon it in such a way that Luke isolated himself to protect certain of his students, most likely Grogu chief among them. So, I've now given two reasons why it will not happen, and I've given what I think is going to happen instead. It took
Fair
me
enough.
3 minutes, I think, maybe four.
And I'm not going to coax any more out of you.
Yeah, it's not. People are suggesting this. There'll be fans calling for it. Unless they decanonize the entire thing and do a time jump to some point far in the future, there will not be a redo of the sequel trilogy. It's just not going to happen. Even with their fancy um, deepfake technology, they're still not going to do it. That being said, I'm very much looking forward to all the new Star Wars series coming out, which will help build upon it and
Absolutely.
build up to
I'm
that point.
excited. I'm
Um,
excited.
the Bad Batch cannot come out soon enough. I am so excited for that. Also, movie I don't think we've talked about very much. I think we talked about it once a couple months ago, but I'm seeing more trailers and stuff for it. Raya and the Last Dragon.
Yeah.
I am becoming more and more excited about this film all the time.
Yep.
This looks like it's going to be one of the greatest Disney films of all time. And the more I see of it, the more I'm like, yes, please, more of this. I'm loving everything I'm seeing so far. Um, the last couple of films, they're great films, most of them. um, I like I like Tangled a lot. I like Tangled probably more than I should. Um, Moana is absolutely amazing, although
Mm-hmm.
a large part of that is probably due to The Rock. Let's be honest. Just the
I
novel.
see what's happening, yeah. I'm gonna get sued because I can't sing this song very well.
Well, actually, the worse you sing it, the less likely we are to get sued.
That's why I started singing it worse.
There we go. See, it's perfect. Um, and actually, you can use 5 seconds in like spurts of a given work in a video without having to be any issues, without there being any issues. So yeah, you're good, probably, maybe.
Word.
If not, Disney, you're welcome for that one lawsuit. Um, oh, it's so hard not to sing it. It's so hard. Um, very catchy tune. But yeah, Raya, it just looks good. It just there's a epic feel to it. And I've heard a lot of people who are comparing it to Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I'm like, I if that is an if that is like 30% true, I'm excited, even more so than I think I am.
Yeah.
Um, which is dangerous because then my expectations start to rise, and then I get upset. Not to get on a Star Wars thing, but that's kind of what happened with. I mean, not really. So my expectations for Episode 8 were sky high. Like there were so many good things set up in Episode 7 that did not get paid off, and then I went into Episode 9 blank because I'm like, I am not sure I could be disappointed any more than I was with the last movie, and I guess I wasn't, but at the same time, it just felt like this was the easiest thing they could think of to get themselves out of this trilogy without, you know, 100% alienating all the fans. So, um,
Yeah.
which is not a great way to make a film. I'm just gonna be like, what's the thing we could do that would tick people off the least? Let's do that. As opposed to being, hey, let's just tell a really good story. You've been on that they didn't have a story. They were just turning the camera on. If they want to do improv, sign me up. I can do some improv, and it'll probably be better than what they got on film for that. Anyway, trying to get off that. Really trying to. It's just not good. Yesterday, I went and visited my neighbor again. This is becoming like a new thing. I'm meeting my neighbors. I'm having a good time. I met his son. We played Beat Saber for like 3 hours. This is the first time I'd ever played Beat Saber. Um,
I've never played it.
it's it's fun. You do kind of have to turn off the idea though there are other people in the room
Yeah,
because
because you look stupid.
I'm quite sure, and I'm like,
I've seen people play it.
yeah, um, it'd be
Did they tell you that there was a height adjustment setting?
nope, and it was set for his son, him and his son. So like his son is like 4 feet, and he is like just a little over 5. He's like 5'2", 5'3", somewhere in there. So I'm a foot taller than him,
Yep.
and that worked out really well. Particularly
Did you
when there's
did you
like
get on your knees?
no, I didn't know about that. I didn't realize that was a thing. But there's like these sections where there's like this block that comes towards you, and you're supposed to duck onto
Yep.
the block.
Yep.
And it took me a lot to get down under the block.
Yeah, there's a height adjustment setting that you
Hmm.
can set.
Yeah, that definitely didn't get happen. That definitely didn't happen. Um,
Uh, I only know that because I saw a tweet from Linus Tech Tips where that's one of Linus's favorite games is he
hmm.
plays that,
It
and
is fun.
they were doing a they were filming, I think it was Dennis on their production that was playing it, and they did him, and like he was like almost hunched over, almost hitting the ground trying to hit the everything
Hmm.
because Linus is pretty short.
Right.
And yeah, they were like, yeah, apparently somebody forgot to tell him that there was a height adjustment setting.
Yeah, that was not well communicated. But I mean, that being said, I still did a pretty good job. I guess it's because I have long arms and I can hit stuff that it might be down there, but I don't have to reach that far.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, it's fun. Um, let's see. What else happened? Oh, had I made curry yet last week? I don't
yes,
think I did. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I still have curry. I gave away like 2 pounds of it, and I still have curry. uh,
I went over to my parents' house today.
hmm
I bought. Oh, this is funny. So, a couple of well, now it's been well over a year ago. I bought Exploding Kittens
Yep.
and took it over and we played. And my parents loved it because they could all work together to beat me.
Yep.
Um, so they loved the game. So, but it's only for up to 5 players if you don't have the expansion packs.
Yep.
So I went today to get the expansion pack, and then they also had another expansion pack called Imploding Kittens,
Yep.
which I also bought. And then I went to go get a game called Mice and Mystics,
Mm-hmm.
which is basically a dumbed down D&D version of a game that's already written out, and the um, the game is built so that there's no DM involved,
Okay.
and it has a story. It's going along, and once you get to certain sections, there's a part of the story that you stop and read. Um, so I was going to get that, but they didn't have it in stock.
I should try that with some
Um,
friends of mine.
yeah,
What was the name of that?
and Mice and Mystics.
Mice and Mystics. Okay.
Yep, it comes with little figurines and everything.
Hmm.
I was actually planning on buying paints and taking it over to my parents' house and letting the kids help us paint the figurines
Hmm.
and then playing it. Um, but they didn't have it, so I didn't get a chance to do that. But anyways, I also instead of buying that, I bought an expansion pack for Settlers of Catan because my family has grown to love that game.
Right.
I thought I was buying the game that went with the expansion pack she already had
Uh huh.
because my sister bought her an expansion pack um, for Christmas, but it doesn't go with the base set. It goes with another Settlers of Catan game. And so I thought I was buying her that, but instead I actually bought her a completely different game there was an expansion, but we were able to play it because it goes with the base set. But so she now still has this other expansion that she can't play with until we get her the right game.
Have you tried the Spacefarers one?
No, no, no. She has the base game, and we bought the seafaring and pirate one. Is the one I bought today.
The Spacefaring one is pretty cool. I've played that a couple times. I played the original. The original to me is actually way easier than the space one because, and I know that this is the reason that a lot of people don't like the original. At least people around me, they don't like the original because you have to build roads.
Yeah,
If you build your roads right, that's how you win.
absolutely. My daddy wins. My daddy is not lost at all.
I've only
He
played.
always gets the longest road.
Yeah, I've only exactly. You build the longest road to the right resources, and you cannot lose. It's
Yeah.
stupid easy. Um, but yeah, Spacefarers there's no roads, and there's you just have to you can like upgrade your ship and do all kinds of stuff like that, but there's no roads. And that's a lot. It's a lot deeper game. It's a lot harder to um uh it's a lot harder to dominate in that regard. There's other things you can do to really get an edge on people, but you can't
Yeah.
just immediately take a massive advantage by starting to build the correct road. Um, yeah.
So the really funny thing was that one of the expansions, it's not really an expansion. It's basically the same game again, um, but with different artwork. Um, but you can combine the two decks to add more people.
Right.
Um, but the one that I grabbed, or the only other expansion there is, I should say, or other deck, is the not safe for work version.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness. I didn't realize it until I got to their house and saw it. I was like, "Whoo!" So I opened it up real quick and went through it. And there was only about 10 cards that were super not safe for work.
Uh
Um, they were hilarious,
huh.
but not safe for work and not safe for parental consumption.
No.
So I took those out, but the rest of them were pretty tame. Like there was a zombie one. There was one where a goat had a guy's head coming out of its butthole.
Hmm.
Um,
I saw a movie like
tame.
that once.
Wait, what?
Well, it
Um,
wasn't a goat. It was a rhino.
oh yeah, Ace Ventura.
Uh huh.
Um, I've never seen that movie.
You should,
Um,
for all
and
the wrong reasons.
then yes, uh, but then there were some other ones that were very explicit that I took out. Um, but yeah, so I dealt out the cards, and my dad had one that was from the Not Safe for Work one, and it's just a fairly busty lady,
Uh
and
huh.
she has a wizard coming out from between her boobs and whispering in her ear,
She
and
has
he
a.
was like a wizard coming out from her boobs,
Okay.
like she's fully clothed. He's just like squeezed into her boobs, and he's like whispering in her ear. It's a card that allows you to look at the top three cards of the deck, so you know what's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically the wizard is whispering to her what's coming. But he was like, he like threw it at me, and I was like, "Oh, is this an exploding card?" I looked at it, I was like, "No, you keep that. That's one of your cards." He was like, "I don't want it. It's a boob card." I was just play the game.
So it's a whole family of. Um. Never mind.
What?
We've talked before about certain preferences. Apparently, it's a family trait. Don't worry about
Oh.
it.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Uh,
uh, I have bad jokes.
yeah, you do. But yeah, so we played that, and then we played um, uh, uh, um, what was the other game we played today? We played the Settlers of Catan. Oh, I bought a new game a couple of weeks ago called Harbor. We played that.
What is Harbor?
And it's it's a resource management game where you're trying to manage your resources and you sell at the appropriate time to buy buildings. And then once you get enough buildings, the game ends, and then you count up points, and whoever has the most points wins.
Okay.
And it's kind of like the stock market, sort of, where every time you spend or where every time you sell your resources to get money to buy buildings, the price of the resources change depending on what you sold. It's a supply and demand kind of uh, situation. Um, so the lower it is, the higher it now becomes uh, when you sell it off.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so we played that. That's pretty fun to play too. Too complicated for my sister. She said, "I'm never playing this again."
That sounds a lot like my sister. Anytime anything she doesn't like or doesn't win at, oh, I don't like this. We're never doing this again. I'm like,
Yep.
okie doke.
Yep.
Oh, the feels, man, the feels, feels,
The feels.
the feels. Full circle.
Oh. Oh.
Again, people who are not part of the Discord, what's wrong with you? Go check out the Discord. um,
So you're just scrolling through memes right now, aren't you?
maybe not totally. I'm not sure if this one is podcast appropriate, but it certainly is applicable. Um, um, yeah, left him speechless, or he's just not paying attention. One of the
Yep.
two.
Both.
Okay.
Oh, I haven't. Oh. What? Oh. Yeah. That goes hand in hand with the one I sent you.
Yeah, it does.
uh, I can help with that. Oh, Jenny, you're as smart as you are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So, no thanks.
Yep.
Uh, post that one. uh, we're super good at that.
Scaring children away, or not sure. Well, that too, but scaring children. Wow, I cannot speak.
Again,
Scaring
Freudian slip.
away women. There we go.
Freudian slip.
Well, I mean, I guess it's really hard to accomplish the first if you don't have the second.
No, you can find children to scare away.
Fair. Um, I did realize this. In fact, I have now. It was there are now two women who have abandoned me because of my face. Um, and probably a lot more than that. But the rest of them, they just saw it from a distance and were like, "Nope, that's close enough." um, uh, yeah.
Anything to go with all those grunts?
Uh, sure. Why not? Let's throw this in here just for good measure because that's not going to degrade our Discord server at all. Um, for those listening on audio, man says I farted under the covers and pointed at the ceiling above my girlfriend and shouted "Spider!" so she'd throw the blankets over her head. Later, when she told her parents, that turned out to be the thing that earned her dad's respect for me, made him laugh so hard he needed an inhaler. I mean, fair.
What does that have to do with the picture behind it, though?
Uh, Nothing whatsoever. I don't understand why that is the picture, but okay. Maybe it's just pranks. I got nothing. I literally have no explanation for why some people do things on the internet. I literally have no explanation for why most people do things on the internet. It's the internet. What do you want from me?
Here's a
And it's loading. It's loading. Oh dear. That's not how that works. Oh, what was it? There was something that I it was one of those stupid things that just like pops up in the middle of the week. I'm like, that's not how that works. I forget what it was. There was something on Thursday. Again, stupid work things. Um, I don't know. I may have blocked it out due to trauma. Just like that, my life does not need this in it. Hmm. Oh, someone is really, really upset about the whole. Yeah. Yep. Yep. I just don't know what to do, man. Whole thing's broken. Whole system's broken. No way to fix it. Burn it down. Fight Club's right. Um.
wow. Yeah.
Yep. I don't know where to go from here, man. I
no,
think.
I've got nothing else.
See, Sass thought this is going to be a 5 hour podcast. We're getting boring. Like, or we just need some like we need like a longer WandaVision episode or
Or
something
just more of something.
more. Yes, we need to be more interesting. We we are not. Um,
Yeah. World's worst podcast at its best.
hmm,
Just sad.
I mean, This is fair. I saw something a couple of weeks ago I thought would have been interesting, and then I felt that would be kind of forced. It was like a comparison. It was like a things that Midwesterners do kind of thing, and me and Brooke had talked about doing that if she ever guest hosted again, um, doing a comparison between Alabama things versus Michigan things. Um, Never happened. That's one of those things that actually takes like pre-planning and effort. So
Yeah,
really not high
we're
on the
not.
list.
Nope.
Oh, I should mention before we like end things off here. Um, Sass, you mentioned to me a couple of not videos, a couple of movies you thought would be good for movie reviews. Those are currently on hiatus. I know I created a whole new format for them and a nice background and everything like that, and they're beautiful. And I did two of them in 1 week, and those are probably not going to be happening for quite some time. Um, so that's a thing. Yep. Um, yep. Ooh, I like that one. Ta-da!
I think my power is flickering.
That could be
I
fun.
think the noise that I keep hearing, thinking it's my AC, is actually my uninterruptible power supplies kicking off every time the power flickers.
That's fun. Well, before your power kicks off entirely and we lose this, what we got so far, not that we lose it because it's being recorded on my end, haha. Um, let's uh, let's call it here, Masters.
Alrighty,
All right, thank you,
I'm on board.
everyone. What?
I said I'm on board.
All right, let's get you on board before we get bored. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We do appreciate you for kindly stopping in, listening, watching, whatever it is your preference. If you did enjoy, please feel free to leave a like down below, comment, tell us your favorite thing about this episode, or comment along the way like Sass does. I do enjoy reading all of um, his comments. I'm getting to the point now where I'm waiting for a bad day because it just makes me happy. So if anyone else wants to give me a second day that I can be happy on, that'd be cool too. Um, any, anyway, if you really liked it and you want to hear more, please feel free to hit the subscribe button on YouTube or Podbean or wherever else you're listening to our podcast. And if you would like to be a part of the podcast more than just a passive listener, do feel free to hit that link down in the description that talks about where you can join the Discord, and you'll get to get a much more clearer understanding of everything that we talk about. Although that may also lead to, certain psychosomatic side effects and issues and traumas and burning an itch. But that's a whole other story. Thank you again for your time, Masters. Anything else before we go?
I got nothing.
All right, then. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you all next time. Goodbye.